Hello, welcome to another Burgundy with Tweedy video. Unusual, maybe a bit special wine today. This is a remarkably old vintage, a 2002. I don't really normally drink anything more than about 4 or 5 years old, typically, from Burgundy. It is a Nuits. The producer is Gachot, Monot, and it's a Premier Cru from a specific vineyard called Les Poulettes. I think I have had a much more recent vintage of this wine, possibly the 2018, which looked dramatically different. The labels have all changed since then. This was actually a present, so I have no idea how much it costs, and I doubt it's actually available anywhere. Interesting, it's definitely got a bit of something or other growing on the top of the cork there, something slightly mouldy. It's one of those cases where it's actually probably pretty good that I have wine prongs rather than the corkscrews that most people would use. These are of course designed for these older bottles. Despite that interesting growth on the top, and in fact actually the cork is sort of discoloured up to about halfway, I think that's reasonably intact at least. It doesn't look like it's disintegrated or anything. I don't normally bother with such fripperies, but I think I will on this occasion give the neck just a little bit of a wipe to try and get rid of some of that interesting gunk around the top there. I hope I'm not just dropping bits of it into the wine. That'll do. Over 20 years old. Dark-ish colour. Nice floral notes to begin with. Now I'm getting, definitely sort of tobacco. Yeah, very, very smoky notes now, after that initial whiff of sort of floral perfume. In amongst that, I'm sure there is some fruit. The acidity has definitely mellowed with 20 years. It's soft, I wouldn't say light, bit of freshness remaining, a little bit of fruity twang. Some of that slightly sort of old leather armchair character that seems to creep in with these older Burgundies. I feel I'm slightly lacking in my usual canon of descriptives to properly do this justice, so let's quickly run through this again. There are definitely floral sort of perfumey notes on the nose, and then a lot of tobacco, smoke. I mean, not in a really unpleasant way. I'm not a smoker, so generally speaking, tobacco and smoke are not aromas that I particularly enjoy, but here there's a nice sort of old-fashioned, kind of pipe tobacco, that sort of thing. Relatively mellow, and then it is quite condensed on the palate, and then in come those sort of leather armchair. It was hard not to think of old gentlemen's clubs wherein the members of said club are wearing some sort of old lady's perfume, paradoxically. A unisex version of an old gentlemen's club where there are some old ladies wearing perfume, smoking pipes on a leather armchair. It's an old lady smoking a pipe on a leather armchair wearing a delightful old school perfume. And somehow there's a bowl of cherries thrown into that mix, just to really confuse things. An old lady sitting on an old leather armchair, eating a bowl of cherries, smoking a pipe, wearing some nice old-fashioned perfume. All of these tertiary aromas come to play when things get to this sort of age. Now a little bit of souboire. The old lady with the pipe is rolling around the floor of the woods. That sounds bad, doesn't it? A lot going on there. It's the sort of wine that I think will just continue to develop as you work your way through the bottle and keep surprising you in lots of interesting, nuanced ways. Well, I was having a delightful time sat there on the heath, but some inconsiderate idiots showed up a few, 50 meters away or something with some kind of sound system and started playing awful music. So I'm going to head on. Perhaps find somewhere else to sit. I found a new spot to sit. It's a bit out in the open, but the only sound I have now are the maudlin cawing of the crows. Maudlin the right word? Judge for yourself. And over there I can just about see the London skyline, but it's not a brilliant view from here.